Welcome to Reddit Reader. People who've had sex with celebrities. How was it? My dad dated Sarah Wayne Callies, Lori Grimes from The Walking Dead, in high school. He defines her as a very nice girl. Truth be told, I don't think he remembers much of that relationship, but she came to our house party once when I was a kid, and she was always really nice to me and my sister. Edit. I think it's worth mentioning the irony here. She was only around when I was a kid, once or twice when my parents would throw house parties, being 8 or 9. I just thought of her as another adult there and didn't really care. But when I was 13 to 16 and became a huge Walking Dead fan and never saw her around after that, I was so disappointed. There were points me and my mom would be watching the show and my dad would walk in and be like, "You know, OP, I dated the actress who played Lori." Yes, Dad, I know. If only there was some way to meet her. I know a girl that hooks up with Hannibal Buress every time he comes to Milwaukee. Edit, they met on Bumble and she says he's a very sweet guy. Back in the 2000s, a mate of mine used to Shaggy every time he would come to Melbourne. I think he probably made 2 to 3 trips down here, and we'd all make a big deal about her disappearing for a few days to shag Shaggy. She had nothing but nice things to say about him. She knew she was nothing but a bit of side poon when he was in town. I'm picturing that they were both buck naked banging on the bathroom floor. Wasn't him. Knew someone who slept with Leonardo DiCaprio. Apparently he kept his headphones on the entire time. Doggy style? This rumor is everywhere. I want to know what he's listening to. I knew a girl who was an escort. She had sex with Derek Jeter. Afterwards, he called a limo to take her home. In the limo was a gift. It was a baseball signed by Derek Jeter. Jenna Jameson kissed me on the mouth at a strip club in Ohio. That's all I got. A friend was part of an actor studio playhouse in the 80s. She said Jeff Goldblum has a huge dick and is an amazing lover. They did it a few times, but he let her down easy because his career was taking off and he was crazy busy. He was really cool and remembered her years later. Alec Baldwin also hung, but was super hairy and sweated a lot. Like it was dripping into her mouth. It was too hard to ignore the sweatiness for her to enjoy it. But he was hilarious, very bright, and smelled good. My grandmother dated Jimmy Carter. Not sure how physical things got, but I've read a few of the letters he wrote. I only post this because I can't think of any other reason I would get to bring this up. My ex slept with Till from Rammstein after a gig once many years ago when she was a gothlet. She said he was very respectful, mildly kinky, wanted to have sex on the hotel balcony with her bent over the rail over the city so people could see, and apparently had skin as soft as a baby. Apparently, he was nice, bought her breakfast the next day, invited her back for a second sesh the next day, then moved on in his tour. She said 8 out of 10 would start again. Ex Twiggy Ramirez of Marilyn Manson around 2000 or so after a show. Apparently it was alright. His was huge, but it was over quick, and then he kicked her to the curb right after to do coke or something. And yes, she was underage. Post Malone asked my ex-girlfriend if she would be interested in going home with him under the condition that she would have to eat his ass. If there is one person's ass I would not want to eat, it would probably be it. I hooked up with Randy Newman's son. He said I had a nice vagina. I guess that's a win. I f***ed a chick who was in a Target catalog. It was hot. Cutting a hole in the Target catalog doesn't count. A friend of mine slept with Perez Hilton. Would you be surprised if my friend said the sex wasn't very good? Knew a girl who f***ed Zac Efron. Had to sign an NDA. Told me he wasn't all that great in bed, i.e. the fantasy was better than the reality. Still fanboyed over him hard apparently. A girl I went to high school with dated Jason Acuna, aka Wee Man, shortly before Jackass 3 came out. He visited her family in Wisconsin around Thanksgiving time, but he hated Wisconsin so much that he paid her best friend to drive him to the airport in the middle of the night. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, and subscribe so you don't miss our next upload.